Here we go, my friends. So I've been going to a chiropractic seminar for 33 years. It's called New Beginnings. And at New Beginnings, we get together and we talk about how beautiful chiropractic is and how we can move our profession forward while recognizing and honoring the past. And I was sharing at New Beginnings maybe 3 years ago. And in the audience, I lock eyes when I'm talking. I'm in the front of the room. I lock eyes with this guy. And something inside of me said, this guy is my brother. I love this person. I have never met him before. And that was when Roberto and I started our friendship. And I've used Roberto as a coach. I've paid him for private sessions, which if you want to take a deep dive on moving the needle of your business, of your practice, book an hour with this guy. I've spent many hours in his Zoom brainstorming on staffless practice. With that being said, my brother, hello, Roberto. Welcome to the Staffless Practice.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Dr. Jody. I'm so thrilled to be here with you. And with
Who are you? Where are you? What do you do?
Who am I? I am a dad, I'm a husband, a lover, a friend, and I love to help people, to inspire them to tell their story even more effectively so that they can serve more people.
Where did that come from? How did you start the journey of helping people tell their story?
You know, I always, growing up in Brazil, I remember a scene. I was super young, talked to my mom, and I used to watch soccer players and singers on TV. And I used to tell Mom, one day I want to be like that. And my mom jokingly said, can't play soccer, can't sing, what do you mean? She was joking with me. And I was like, Mom, I want to have what they have. I didn't know, Dr. Jody, but I was referring to purpose. And then I always had a bunch of jobs, sales jobs, got an MBA in marketing, and I was never lit. I was never super excited. Then eventually I got a job with Tony Robbins as a speaker, and I found my passion. I love speaking. Then later on I went through coaching. I started coaching speakers for Tony Robbins. And then in 2008, I left, opened up my company, Fluenceology, which next year is going to be 17 years coaching on my own, super happy. And I got connected with chiropractic probably 15 years ago by accident. Totally by accident.
So Roberto, this is what the coaching experience is like. I get into Roberto's Zoom and I'm like, blah! And I'm like, and he goes like this.
Oh, you have a lot to say. You have a lot to say. What can I tell you? You have a lot to say.
Your brain is so incredible. And my experience of it is you help me articulate the problem that I'm trying to solve. And then you give me a strategy that works for my brain to solve it. How did that happen? How do you get good at doing something like that? Where did it come from?
I would say it's a mix between pattern recognition. When you work with a lot of people, start recognizing patterns. And number two, trying to shut off my volume, the voice in my head, and then being super aware and try to listen without judgment. Like, I'm just going to listen without judgment, trying to understand. Because a lot of times, Dr. Jody, a lot of people, brilliant people, they have all these ideas, and then they have all those things that they don't think they're not valuable. So my job is to listen what they have to say, and then I go fishing for other things that they may not recognize. I always remember an analogy that I like to use, that you can be the best driver, driving a Ferrari on the most beautiful highway. You're going to have blind spots. And sometimes those blind spots can cause you to crash. And my job as a coach is when I jump in and I start really focus on the client without my formulas, my judgment, my way of thinking. Literally, that's why something that bothers me in the coaching business. So I've been doing this since 2002. Is that a lot of people, a lot of coaches, they say, "Let me give you my formula."
Right.
Right? Let's use speaking. Hey, I've done a lot of talks, 5,000, been very successful using my formula. And then people who are not aware, they go, "Oh, that's great. Shortcut." Right? The problem is that the formula works for me because I have a specific purpose, beliefs, values, personality, experience, and that may not work for you. So a lot of coaches, unfortunately, when they talk to a prospective client, they try to put that person in a box.
Does influenciology
and then I go like, but I tried that many years and it doesn't work. So for me, this ability to understand, and it's like, man, working with you, Jody, is different than work. I never had a client that was exactly work with Jody. Never. Why? Because Dr. Jody, man, your own amazing thing. You really are. I mean, you're brilliant. You show up 20 ideas. You're a massive action taker, knows a lot about technology, and you're just like, I cannot put you in a box. I won't be, even if I try, it's not going to work. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't it be nice to, though? Wouldn't it be lovely to hang out in a box for a little while?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I kind of envy the simplicity of it.
Yeah. No, for sure. But that's not, and by the way, I'm not saying that there's programs out there that put you in a box and they produce results, but that's not what I do, because I feel like in communication, in the end of the game, you are there speaking in front of 100, 1,000, 300 people, 30 people, right? So it's kind of like, man, you have to own that. Especially now, what happens the last year, 2 years ago with AI, where if you pay attention, which I know you are, every time you go to Facebook, every time you go to LinkedIn now, to this all AI generated content. It's all.
Right.
It's like you recognize the language patterns, you recognize, I mean, literally everything. So eventually what's going to happen is, from my perspective, which is already happening, there's a bunch of research. If you study AI communication, people don't trust AI as they trust humans. There's a bunch of research already. What's going to happen? People are using as a shortcut. They're like, "Oh, I'm smart," right? By the way, this is not anti-AI talk, because I use AI. But what's going to happen is, what I feel when it comes to communication, leadership, influence, the more you tap into your ideas, your stories, your frameworks, how you think, right? And you can use AI to refine, but the more power you internalize first, the more you're going to stand out. And the more you're going to stand out, the more successful you're going to be. So that's why my kind of work does require that. Now it's Jody. I'm gonna shut it off everything. I want to hear what she has to say. I know you built up an amazing business. You help a lot of chiropractors and non-chiropractors technology. And I'm trying to immerse yourself in your world. Not trying to.
Roberto, I want to have a coaching session with you.
Not bringing you into my world.
I want to meet you.
I'm gonna jump in your way. See what I mean? It's not like, I know I'm gonna if I have to wear the pink shirt right now, right? Staffless, I'm gonna do that, because I gotta step from that reality. Then we're gonna go, okay. Then we're gonna move into
push it. Push it. So talk to me about storytelling, because I know really what Roberto does for most of my profession, from chiropractors, is he teaches chiropractors how to tell their story in such a way that they become relatable and they can help people understand how what they offer is the solution for the problem that's hoping to be solved. So give us that in a nutshell. Like, how does that happen?
Let me tell you what happened. When I got a job with the Anthony Robbins companies, who in my personal belief system probably is the most successful speaker ever, right? In that arena, they gave us a 25-page script to speak in his behalf and sell tickets, whatever. And I struggle. As a matter of fact, I was living in Jersey City. My first 3 months, I went to the hospital in New Jersey City ER because I was so stressed out. Had a panic attack. It was bad. It was bad. Then I come back from the hospital next day. I went online, didn't have a lot of money. Back in the day, 2002 was DVD and CDs. I started buying some. Old school Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, John. I'm talking about old school stuff. You recognize the names, hopefully. And then I kept hearing this storytelling. Tell a story. I'm like, cannot be that fluff. That's fluff. Give me the real thing. Give me the clothes, right? But I really had nothing to lose because my sales numbers were terrible, were like really terrible. And I realized something. I realized that script that Tony Robbins gave to the company, gave us, which was amazing. He wrote himself, didn't have one thing: my story.
Mm.
And I'm like, do I have a story? Yeah, I think I have a story. And I incorporated, and immediately, I start seeing people connecting with me, relating, and then eventually my numbers didn't go like this right away, but went like this. Then eventually I started using more behavioral science stuff, storytelling being one of the elements, and then I became super successful. So storytelling is what I believe to be one of the most powerful tools of communication. Is being able, if you want to influence, master influence, the top three things. Number one, being able to ask great questions.
Right.
Number two, we were talking about before, listening. Man, shut it off and just, I'm going to jump in your world. I want to listen from your perspective. I want to listen about everything. Number two, be able to tell a story. Right? I feel like the storytelling will become even more important because of AI. And I love it.
Because nothing's personal.
Nothing is personal.
Right.
Like nothing is personal. Nothing. Nothing AI generated makes me feel anything. Just like, well, the save time, yes, but I use a lot for research. Research is great. I love it. It's like saves so much time. Love it. Again, I am a pro AI. I love AI. Truly use AI every day in my business. But when it comes to communication, when you're dealing with humans.
So when we're talking to like Main Street America chiropractor, Dr. Jones, who's struggling to find joy in his practice, how does what you're saying come into play?
Well, if it doesn't have, there's a, I don't know, I'm not gonna tell that just being able to tell stories might fix their joy. Probably the problem could go deeper. I don't know the problems you're referring to, but one thing I know for a fact, and you know this because you're a great marketing coach, most chiropractors struggle because people don't know they exist.
Right.
Right? Or if they know they exist, they don't know what they do.
Most chiropractors don't know what they do.
Yeah, well, that's that.
First, know what you do.
Yeah,
this is my stand.
100%. So what is crazy to me to think about is that I have these calls where doctors they're not doing talks. I just had a call last week. I say, "What kind of marketing do you do?" You know, they say, "I'm a referral only," and I'm like, "Okay, do you send emails? No. Do you do social media? No." It's like is mind blowing.
Right.
They do talks? No. The reason I am biased, and I'm telling you, you may discount my message 10% here because that's what I do. Right? So discount a little bit. Don't believe me 100%. But there's a lot of, but I know that speaking, there's a lot of things that happens in a room when you're in front of people for 30 minutes that you cannot duplicate online. You just can't duplicate. You just cannot duplicate, right? The emotional contagion, like I feel, you feel, hard to do virtually, right? Mirror neurons connected, right? I cry, you cry. I smile, you smile, right? It's just we miss that. And
I feel like if we can, when I say most chiropractors don't know what they do, here's what I mean by that. We miss the piece where I take my flag and I put it in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the chiropractor that works with moms before,
Yeah.
during, and after baby.
100%.
That's what I do. That's my jam, right?
Yeah.
If I can take that flag and put it in the ground, then all of what Roberto's saying right now is so much easier. I
100%.
know, right?
Beautiful. You plant the flag. Right?
That's me. That's my jam. What's
like
your jam?
Yeah, you plant the flag.
Right.
So now my jam is this. When I went to years ago, one of my buddies invited me to go shark fishing. Have you been shark fishing?
No. Do you think that I've been shark fishing, Roberto?
So I live in South Carolina, and he goes, "Hey, you want to go shark fishing?" I'm like, "Yes." So he goes, "Go get this license, $35." A couple years ago, I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "I'll pick you up 3:30 a.m." No problem. 3:30 a.m. picks me up. Everything was dark. We drive right here to Sullivan's Island. Beautiful place. Arrived there 4 a.m. dark. And then he opened his truck. There's 5 fishing poles. And I'm looking at the guy and look 5. And I'm like, "Oh, who else is coming?" And he goes, "Just us?" And I'm like, "No, we're 2. There's 5, fishing rods." He goes, "Just wait." And he goes, "Put 1 fishing rod, then maybe 100 meters, number 2, 100 meters, number 3, number 4, number 5. And I'm like, and the sun was rising and you're drinking coffee. And I'm like, super excited. Nothing happened. An hour, 2 hours, nothing happened. All of a sudden, 1 rod went like this. Crazy. He ran, boom, pull a shark. I have a picture. I have a picture. Like, we got 1 shark that day. That's it. 1 rod worked, but the 4 ones didn't. So after you plant your flag,
Right.
how many marketing rods do you have?
Right.
Are you doing social media
Omnipresence
every single
everywhere.
day? Are
Right.
you doing email marketing? Are you doing talks? Are you doing patient orientation classes? Are you doing? You gotta have 4 or 5. Any good business has 4 or 5 marketing rods.
You know, it's so funny, Roberto. We just added, so we have a whole marketing agency on the side of the screen, and we just added SEO. Like, we can run the SEO for the practice, and we use my practice as an example. I've never done anything with SEO, like nothing, right? But I've been in practice for 25 years, so people talk about me online. So of course I'm number 1 everywhere in my area for SEO. I have nothing to do with that. I could not give 2 shits less if I was number 1 on SEO for my practice, because it's all relationship building. It's all people refer to me because they know that I'm the person that does that thing. They also know that if they refer somebody to me, that person's going to get the Disney experience every time. They're going to be treated like royalty, because quite frankly, in my office, they are. They're also going to get nurtured with education. They're going to get nurtured with a great adjustment. They're going to get nurtured with lollipops and diapers ready to rock and roll. Like, all of it is there for them. When somebody comes and knocks on my virtual door and they're like, "What am I doing wrong?" It's never, "Oh, it's this one thing." It's everything is multifaceted, whether it's the approach that you're talking about for growing the practice, or the way that we're serving our practice members, or the way that we're marketing. But all of those pieces need stories.
100%. You said something that is really powerful, like and I love that you just add SEO, because I'm thinking I don't do SEO either. I really
It's
don't
so
do it.
cool.
I always, what people were looking for, unfortunately, and they're never gonna find. They're looking for the silver bullet. They're looking, "Hey, can you give me the one thing that?"
Nope.
I don't know. Now, what my take is, influencing is a stacking process. It's never just one thing.
Right.
Like in sales, for example, is your mindset, is your expectation, is how much you care about your audience, how much you know about them, the questions you ask, how you listen to it, is how you build up a compelling future. So they move from the status quo, point A, they go to point B, they feel compelled to do it. And when they're going to make the decision, you reduce decision. right? Because people are afraid to make a mistake, and then you offer. Right? So it's not one. It's not in the end. It's the whole thing. And the same thing happens to marketing. The same thing happens to speaking. So when you talk about your practice being is everything makes a difference for sure, 100%.
Right. I would be so bored if it was one thing.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what's so interesting is that I'm married to somebody who does one thing at a time. He that's the way he's an engineer, and that's the way that his mind works. And by the time he's preparing for answering one of my 10 questions I have each minute, I'm on to the next 10 questions. Right? You understand that. I think our brains work very similarly. I have so much envy for people who can do the one thing at a time. Mm-hmm. I have found that the omnipresence piece to marketing, to practice joy, to effectiveness of care, it has to be multifaceted. I think you can be honed in on one piece. Like that can be your jam, right? But you have to come at it from different angles so that I can relate to Roberto, I can relate to Bob, I can relate to Mary, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody is coming. I don't want to just be in a room full of Robertos. I want to be relevant to all of the people who check the box for the problem that I solve in my office. Does that make sense?
100%. Let me give you a clear example. So I am on all the social medias, the major 7 ones I am. My goal is to post twice a day in all 7. Doesn't happen every day. I'm not.
What are the 7s? What are the 7?
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, X, Pinterest.
Got it.
All right. So I do the 7. My goal is to do twice a day, every single day. Sometimes I miss it. So I go to these platforms. I personally do it. Right? Now, here's what's fascinating. I have some of my corporate clients, non-chiropractors, when I go to LinkedIn, they're there twice, 3 times a day. But they don't have Facebook. They don't have Instagram. Right. They don't have TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, but by the way, but why? Is that TikTok?
It's just so I love hearing you talk. TikTok.
Yeah. But then you go to TikTok, right? And then some people, LinkedIn is for old guys. I don't need a job. They're missing. People they're missing. So if you want to be that, if you want to create that influence, I'm more the mindset on high school. If you think about high school, you had the soccer, the football players, you have the partiers, you have the study groups, you have the nerds.
Right.
I'm the guy who was hanging out with all of them.
Me too, man.
Social media, I'm like that. I'm hanging out with all of them. You know what I mean?
You know, I used to give massages to all my friends in the back of choir practice.
Really?
Yeah. When I was in high school, I used to sit in the back and give them, and they'd like take 10 minutes at a time. Oh, I'm next. Jody, I'm next. 10 minutes. I'm still doing the same thing.
That's funny.
Singing my way through massages. And I mean, now it's, of course, the chiropractic adjustment. How did you get involved with chiropractic?
One of my clients, Gary Gunnarsson, who is a financial guy, introduced me. He calls me up and say, "Hey, do you work with chiropractors?" And I'm like, "What is chiropractic?" I was like 14. I have no idea. And then he introduced me to one doctor that had a speech impediment. I worked with him, really helped him. And then the second doctor, Dr. Crisano, he was a massive practice, was seeing 2,000 plus person a week, but he was doing these dinners. Was closing around 50%. I coached him. First time after my coaching session, he closed 90%. He couldn't believe it. He recorded a video and then went crazy. So that's when it started. But then I had my own story with my wife and I trying to get pregnant for 4 years. We couldn't get pregnant. It's a 10-minute story. I'm not going to tell here right now, but it was crazy. So we both start chiropractic care and then eventually got pregnant. And then because now my chiropractors buddies are my best friends, they recommend to watch a movie, The Business of Being Born, about natural birth. Eventually we decided to have a natural birth. My daughter had an issue. I called my chiropractic. He literally saved her life. And then I was like, twice happens. Twice. One, getting pregnant. Number two, literally saved my daughter's life. So I'm like, I feel like I owe to chiropractors. For me, it's more like I do work outside chiro, but I'll never be able to leave chiro because I feel I have this emotional debt that I'm paying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know what's so interesting about that is I think to myself when you're saying this, I hear these stories all the time. Like, and it's a story. It's somebody's before, during, and after. And we have this thing in chiropractic where if you've been part of chiropractic for a long time, I think we get used to it. We expect miracles because that's what we see every day in our office. I'm not going to say to you, you're going to get under my care and you're going to experience miracles. But if I hear your miracle, I'm not going to be surprised because I hear them all the time, whether it's what Roberto just said and it's exactly what we're talking about. It's the power of the story. So with the power of the story, how does somebody move the needle on their practice becoming more of what they want it to be, utilizing storytelling?
Got it. Perfect. So this is a really good question. A story is not a story until it's told. You can have all those amazing stories that you say, I get used to them, Roberto, but if you don't share them systematically, they're not stories because they die in a vacuum. They go to the black hole, disappear, boom, they're gone, right? So have people to actually share the stories. Create a wall with the picture and the story. Use as a Facebook ad campaign, you, the patient, and the story. Email marketing, a storybook, right? In your sales meetings that you have, your staff meetings. If you look at chiropractic, by the way, I know chiropractic is not about overcoming symptoms. I get 100%. So for the straight chiros there, don't judge me. But the idea is that if I were a chiropractor, I know that I believe the 80-20 rule in marketing. 80% of my patients comes from 20% of problems. And my problems, I saw statistics. People come for chiropractic for back pain, neck pain, migraine, sciatica. That is like 80%. Literally, 80% of people knocking the door in the beginning has back pain, neck pain, migraine, sciatica. Then, if that's true, I'm gonna teach my team every meeting. I'm gonna have them share stories about one story about something that happens in the office, about patient help. Why? Because I want to empower my team to be a storyteller. When I write an email copy, right, I'm going to ask questions like, what's the point I'm going to try to communicate? What is an example of that? I think it's stories. I was talking to my wife on Friday. So Friday, I wrote, once a week, I write this long story and post it. I can prove to you.
I love reading your stories.
My best, most commented share posts by far, by a 10x, is a story.
Yeah.
That's why.
And I feel like I can hear you talking.
Yeah. I try to.
We're out of time. That was a half an hour.
Is that crazy? I just want to say that I saw a post the other day about someone asking for technology help. The new tech guru. If you are looking for an amazing mentor now that knows two things that you gotta know, right? Marketing and technology, you gotta reach out to my friend here, Dr. Jody. Let me tell you why. You may find a really good tech people, but they don't know marketing, right? Or you can find really good marketers who don't know technology, and by bonus, she knows chiropractic, loves chiropractic, lives chiropractic. So all the chiropractors out there, if you want to use the power technology to leverage your practice, to make more money, to gain some hours back, right? We all want to. Then you got to call the lady, Dr. Jody. Doing our calls. I know how hard she works. I know her systems. She put hundreds and hundreds of hours
Yeah.
and thousands of dollars into her systems, and it's amazing. I see the results. So if you want to scale your practice using amazing technology with marketing, that's your girl.
You're a boss, Roberto. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful to know you. If you're watching, how do people get in touch with you, Roberto?
Just Roberto Monaco, anywhere online.
You'll see it wherever you're watching this. Roberto, don't leave. If you're watching this podcast, go make the world better with great care.
Love you guys.